You're not lazy, you're just starting over. You already know how to work hard. You're just tired of 6 week solutions to lifelong bodies. Hi, I'm Minky. Most of the people I work with aren't beginners. They're caregivers, they're nurses interested in fitness for all their life, former athletes, even. You've already done the hard work. These are people who have lost weight. You've probably lost 1,000 pounds over your lifetime. You're very good at it. But we're talking about building muscle and maintaining the weight for at least the next 20 years. And now that's the question you're asking. How do I keep this body working for the next 20 years? One of the problems is that we treat our body like a project, and our body is not a project. It's a lifetime thing. It's a place we live in, and you're the governing authority. Programs end, but our bodies don't. No one teaches you how to run a body long term. You get plans, challenges, programs, but no structure for maintenance, no identity for who you are after you lose the weight and you've been working out and building muscle. Then it stops. What if you did start to rebuild your what if your body was something that you governed? Something that's you're going to do for the rest of your life. A way to think about your body, not a program, not a punishment, a place you're responsible for. When people hear me say this, they lean in because it feels right. A body isn't a 90-day project, it's more like a business, a place of worship, or a sovereign nation. It needs leadership, not motivation. We all know that motivation lasts, for a few hours or for a limited amount of time. So stop scratching your head wondering, what do I do now? Raise your hand if you want to know how to live in your body for the next 20 years without the stress of gaining your weight back or losing more muscle. Well, here it is, my body, my sovereign nation. I call it Minky Land. My name's Lori Minky Radcliffe, and this is the way I think about my body when exercise programs stop working. And when I say exercise program, I mean like a 6 week program, a 90-day program, a 12 week, um, lose a fat programs. These all work, and they're usually jumpstart programs. But unless you jumpstart for the rest of your life, you're going to lose your gains. And I want to this my body, my sovereign nation is a new way to think about how to maintain your weight loss and to maintain your muscle. My body, my sovereign nation is not a workout, it's not a diet, it's a way of understanding your body as something you're responsible for, like a country, a business, a place of worship, even. It has functions, rules for decades, not weeks. Projects end, programs end, but bodies don't. When you see your body as a sovereign place, the question shifts from what program should I follow to how do I govern this body for the rest of my life? In a sovereign nation, you would allow trade. Like I said, you have rules, you allow visitors, certain riffraff in, maybe they only can stay for a certain amount of time. You change your policy when something stops working. This way of thinking removes shame and it replaces it with responsibility. Now, that little picture there in the corner is me and my mother. And I talk about my why in a minute, but I just put that there to remind me every time I think of Minky Land I created this so what happened to my mother doesn't happen to me, which I'm going to tell you about in just a second. This is for people with skin in the game. It's not for beginners, not for tourists, people just looking around, window shopping of what they might want to do with their body, or they kind of want to start, or they got to do the shopping for all the fitness gear first before they go work out. All the reasons people do to stall, whatever. This is not for you. This is for people who have worked out a lot. They have already invested. When you first start working out, you have nothing to lose. Maybe a little bit of time and you'll be sore. But if you just work out for a few days and stop and you keep doing that, you're just damaging your body. But if you're that person that I'm talking to that have you've worked out before, you've maybe even taught classes, maybe even have your own fitness nursing program or personal trainer, or somehow you work with people already. The bottom line is you have skin in the game and you know what it's like to lose your gains. And when I say your gains, I mean your muscular gains. So you will maintain your weight loss. Okay. So this resonates with people who have already lost weight and are tired of restarting every 6 weeks or every 12 weeks or as soon as their personal training session is over. These are the people who will always be on the verge of trying something to keep their weight down. Okay. Now, if you look at this slide here, I have pictures of some before and afters. People have lost weight. You want to decide if you're going to eat that donut or the apple. You do this all day long, all in your life. You're making these decisions. There's athletes here. Maybe you were an athlete and competed. Athletes compete. That's the difference I say with people when they say, "Oh, I'm an athlete." I'm like, "Are you competitive?" Because there's a difference with competition than if you're just training to do something for yourself. Okay, and that's why I say former athletes. You'll know what I'm talking about here. This is something that you probably can relate to because you remember how you used to be, and now maybe you do some fitness and you're not like you were when you were in your teens or 20s. Maybe now you're in your 50s or 60s, but you remember what that was like and you've been trying to keep your weight down for all these years. You do some exercising, some dieting, but you've really gotten serious. You got to a point where you like the way you look and feel now and you want to keep that. And you're asking yourself, how do I do this? And I like people to look at the next 20 years and then reverse engineer it. There's also these questions of how much money do I have to spend? Do I have to spend any more money? You might have spent lots of money. Personal trainers aren't cheap. Gym memberships, anything. Just buying the clothes to work out. So you've invested money and you really don't want to invest anymore. You just want it to be a part of your life. If you like going to the gym, that's fine. But not everybody can make it to the gym. What if your life turns in a way you have to go back to work or you have to take on another job or something else happens to you? You have to have a plan B to keep your body moving for the next 20 years. Okay. It's not just enough to do what you just did. You have to do a little more and you have to do it differently and maybe reframe some things. In my Minky Land sovereign nation, I have maxims. They're my rules, my vices, my stress. I believe that stress is what ultimately takes you out. And if you can control this in your life, you will be so much healthier. Your weight will be so much easier to maintain, and your muscle will be easier to maintain when you keep your stress down. These are just some of my maxims. Create your own private Idaho, a 72-hour probation period I have. And that's to tell me, let me know at the third day, I tell myself that my muscle starts melting. I know that's not what physiologically happens. Neurologically, things start to happen at the 72nd hour. But that in my mind is what I tell myself. So I start to get crazy around that 72nd hour. If I've got to do some housework hips, I've got to do something while I'm working already. I like doing two things at once. If two things I hate, like I hate cleaning, but if I can clean and do some exercising at the same time, I got two things done at once. But of course, there's certain kind of exercises that you have to do, and this would be up to you. I do something called housework hips and lounge aerobics. And I also go to the gym, and I have a TRX hanging in my house. I have private Idahos all through my house, but that's just my way of doing things. My vices, I have an appetite suppressant that I use. It's only legal in certain states, but I use it and it helps me, and I've used it all my life. So I would never recommend this to someone else, but it's what I do. Now, I would share it with you at another time, but if someone spoke to me privately, I would talk to you more about it, but I don't want to do it on this presentation here. But I do believe one of my maxims is you have to have an appetite suppressant and you pick your own. I mean, you can call it a poison or not, but I like mine. It works for me, and you have to pick your own. I don't exercise on Mondays. Mondays is a heart attack day. I have that picture of my mother and me in the corner because my mother dropped dead of a heart attack on a treadmill on a Monday. So that's something I don't do. I'll get into details about that another time, but my mother was very sedentary. If you looked up sedentary in a dictionary, her picture would be right there. Okay, she was thin, but we know that skinny is not healthy. And I heard from a cardiologist years ago about Monday exercising, and all this came to uh, fruition. And my mother ended up being a statistic, trying to do better. Okay. Follow basic exercise principles, not marketing principles. Okay. If you just follow the basic exercise principles, you will do well, not marketing principles, which would be marketing fads and things. And frankly, I don't really have a problem with a fad. If you're doing fads on the regular, I do the shake weight, I have that ab curler thing. If you're doing things on the regular, all exercises will work for you if you do the exercise principles, like the overload principle or fit principle. There's another one, adaptation, but these are principles that you have to learn and know them. So when you go to do exercise, as long as you do these principles, you're going to get the results that you want. Okay. I have give me liberty or give me a diet because I believe that our bodies are a sovereign nation and we should be free to do what we want. And a diet is definitely like a punishment. You don't exercise to lose weight. And also, I believe that walking is a privilege. We're bipedal, we have 2 feet. We are meant to walk. If we're able to walk, stand upright and walk, that's a great thing. That's what we do. Okay. So to say that, oh, I'm exercising when I'm walking, your body isn't seeing it that way. And maybe that's why you reach plateaus. If you tell yourself you're exercising to clear your head, for stress, to help digest, all these things, that's great. But it's not great as an exercise modality. I know you don't need more motivation. You need a way to maintain. That's always been the problem. 95%, maybe higher, are people who regain their weight after they lose it. Those of you on GLP-1 medications, you know that's got to be forever or the things start going the other way. And you know that you're losing muscle with that medication. And really, you got to get into some resistance training immediately, like yesterday. Okay. And you need a way to maintain this. I'm not saying if you want to take the shot till you die, that's your business. But I'm just telling you that everybody has this issue. You have to change something in your adaptation in your life if you want to maintain your weight loss. Okay? Especially if you want independence. If you want to be able to go into your 70s, 80s, and 90s on your own and in your own body, in your own mobile home, okay, you need to find a way to maintain your weight loss and keep your muscle up so you can do the things you want to do. On this slide here, we have the typical trap of the cardio deck. I like treadmills, but we know that doing a lot of cardio does nothing for your muscles. It just strengthens your heart and your calves. Okay. This second picture here with the aqua fitness, that might feel good. I know people do this in heated pools. It feels good on your joints. And great. I would never tell you to stop doing any exercise that you're doing, but stop framing it as the one all and be all. Like walking, like I mentioned in the last slide. These exercises are all things that you do that are great for you and make you feel good, but they're not going to maintain your muscle. Now, step aerobics in this last picture here, the reason I put this here is because I work with women. Many times they want to curve it down. They got a little bit too much curve, a little much too much junk in the trunk. Now, let's face it now, if you're 22 years old and you got a big ass and you're thinking, oh, this is great, that's fine. You pop out a few babies at 4 and you get to 47 and you're going through perimenopause and you can't fit your ass in a roller coaster seat or something, or you can't move the weight, then it becomes a problem. And these women that I'm thinking of, these two in particular, they started an exercise program and they took step aerobics. And I said, well, step aerobics is great if you have a flat ass and you're skinny, like an ectomorph type person, real thin type person, and you're trying to build muscle and you just have a hard time building muscle, then do step aerobics. But if you have big butt and thighs, you don't have a problem building your butt and thighs. Step aerobics is going to make you hungry and it's going to give you bigger butt and thighs. Okay, so this is what I talk about with people when I know the people I'm talking to here already know how to exercise. You've lost weight before, you've been in shape before, you might even be in shape now, so you know what I'm talking about. But you really should pick things that work for your body type. Okay? And one more thing I want to mention about the water, we are mammals. And mammals in the water are walruses, seals, whales. What are they? They're fat. They got a lot of blubber. So if I am a human. I'm not going to do my main exercise in the water. It doesn't work for mammals well. Okay. If you want to do a cross train, if you like swimming, if you're able to get up and go swimming and do laps, and that's what you love doing, good for you. But you need to get it on the ground. Okay, you need swimming is very aerobic. I'm not saying that swimming isn't good for you. It's great on your joints, but if you have osteoporosis worries, you need to do some heel strikes. You need to get on the ground and cross train a little bit. I tell people this all the time when my son was doing swimming years ago. I mean, my son is well grown and gone, moved on to another state, but when he was a kid and learning how to swim, I know there was a girl in one of his classes. The mother could not understand why the daughter couldn't lose weight, and she had a weight problem, and all she did was swim. I said, she's a great swimmer, isn't she? She said, yes, because fat floats. That's why women are better in like swimming the English Channel than a man because of they have more body fat and some other structural things. But anyway, I don't recommend that you do any of these, the cardio deck, the swimming, or the step aerobics alone. And just do that by yourself and you wonder why you're not getting the results you want. Sovereign doesn't mean perfect, it means being responsible. And you accept the things that you do or don't do to your body. You allow, you adjust, you govern, and you maintain. You have to change things up. And this is what I do with my creating a sovereign body, my nation, my sovereign body um, is a nation, is a sovereign nation that I like to see it with a boundary around it and what I let in and what I don't let in. And I don't have to explain it to everybody, but since I know it and I love it and I do make it fun sometimes, people see me laughing to myself and not even in the gym, just if I'm walking on the boardwalk, anything I'm doing, even just at work, because I know I'm doing something for my nation, for it to be a grand nation and be happy. I do have the word counterbalance here. I want to point that out because I do believe that people put too much in the word balance, and we really don't ever achieve balance. I mean, there's counterbalance. You might be balancing, but then you got to do something else because you lose your balance a little bit. So I think we do more counterbalancing than balance. Now, here's a differentiator everybody wants to know. I have dove into AI and I use it to help me stay on track. And it's not just a workout routine or do this many sets in the morning and eat this at this time at night. I mean, you can do that, but this is more um, helping me with the psychology of maintaining my weight for the next 20 years. Okay. This is thinking support, not authority replacement. And what AI does, it supports my thinking. The same way I use tools to support movement, I build what I call the Minky Mind Agent to support decision making, appetite, again, movement, long term maintenance. It doesn't replace me, it reflects me. So it doesn't replace you, it supports you. This Minky Mind Agent was designed to help me reflect, decide, and stay consistent without outsourcing my responsibility and without turning to everybody for advice. And that's where people get messed up too. You have to trust yourself that you know what you're doing with your nation of your body and how it's going to work out. And you don't have to ask anybody else for permission. Some people use the AI tool to help self. So you can use it to help yourself. This AI Minky Mind can help yourself, or you can use it to help someone else. Both paths matter. Okay, you can follow my Minky Mind agent and do what it does and helps you do how I do things if you want to do things the way I do them. But typically, I think you want to do things how you want to do them. And you design your own body, your own AI agent. And when you think about your body, it doesn't have to be a sovereign nation. It could be a business, a place of worship, a private school. You make it fun. What is it that you like to be and make rules of? Maybe have SOPs or standard operating procedures at some other place where you do it. You can apply that to your body and create a agent to help you stay with your weight loss and your muscle gain. Okay. The pictures I have here, again, my name is Minky, and this is 1981. The picture, I was coming out of high school, and I was my first bodybuilding competition. So you can do the math. If it's 1981, I'm coming out of high school. You know, you can kind of figure out how old I am. Okay. And these other pictures are more recent. The one I'm on the floor with Pang Pang in the background, that was this summer. And the other picture was just recently. And I did use AI to help do my face a little bit, but I really didn't change much else. And I had me hold this no acetol pills. And these no acetol pills are what I use for everything. Now, I will talk in the future how to get the no acetol pills. And I don't discourage people if you take supplements and that type of thing, that's great. But this is the only supplement I need. Okay. And I'm not just building programs for you, I'm building sovereign operating systems for aging bodies. And everything else is how people enter it. How do you enter your sovereign nation? One of my maxims is right there on that picture. There are no healthy people, only people you're healthier than today. In other words, you feel good today and you're healthier than a lot of people today. And you should pat yourself on the back for that. And we just leave it at that. Okay. Now, I have been blessed with a small waist when in my DNA. But in the years since then, I've had to struggle. Um, the years 45 to 55 are the hardest for women to lose weight. It's perimenopause in this country, in the United States of America. Uh, and that was a tough time for me. But I managed to always have like a 2 pack or a 4 pack. So I've maintained my low body fat well into my 6th decade of life. And I don't know too many people who have done that. I know people start later in life and they exercise. Oh, I feel great. I started exercising when I was 58 and now I'm 65 and I've never felt better. Well, great. I'm glad you started. But I'm just letting you know I know how to maintain it for a lifetime. Okay. And that's my specialty. So when you're ready to take off your rose colored glasses and see your next 20 flab free years more clearly, you can see how you're going to get there without even really giving it too much thought, because that's the key. If something's so regimented, that's why you quit. So, this is what I talk about: creating your body as a sovereign nation or a business or something where you can be the leader of it and literally talk to yourself, make plans for it. And every 20 years, you do this, okay? Because this next 20 years, you want to look at the end of where you're going to be in 20 years and think about that and then work back from there. Do you really think you're going to look like the way you do now in 20 years? This is assuming you've reached your goal, you're where you want to be, you've lost body fat, you've got muscle, you're fitting into clothes you want. In 20 years, are you going to be here? How are you not going to be here? Because it's going to get harder to lose weight as you get older. It doesn't get easier. Okay, so create something, an agent. Use AI to help you. It could be like a personal trainer in your ear. It could be a lot of things for you. And it can help you maintain your weight and therefore um, feel good. You'll feel good about what you're doing. Um, Maintaining your weight will come from building and maintaining muscles with basic exercise principles, basic muscle building principles. And that's all you need, and a little bit of encouragement. So stay in touch, get on my email list, or make an appointment with me on my calendar. And I'd love to talk to you about how you can maintain your wonderful weight loss and keep that beautiful muscle for the next 20 years with your AI agent.